My name is Aejaz Patel. I'm part of the enterprise sales team in India. Welcome again. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really good to see you all in person. Now, up here on stage, we would be having one of our customers. As Anupam mentioned, that needs no introduction. It's HealthifyMe. They have been helping almost millions of people in their health and nutrition goals since the time of the launch. And joining us today would be their VP of technology, who's a leader, an entrepreneur with core strengths in technology and strategy. He also specializes in creating new initiatives from the ground up, executing them at scale, and also creating a scalable operations model. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abhijit Khasnis from HealthifyMe.
Thank you, Aejaz. Morning, all. Almost stole my thunder. When you were the customer, I'm like, okay, we need to switch now. I need to ask the
Sorry
questions.
about that.
So.
Yeah, I'm going to sign up $1 million deal. Great. Abhijit, before we talk about HealthifyMe, let's just get to know you a little bit. So you were the CTO of Tata Digital Health before you joined HealthifyMe. What's with the health space in you? Are you looking for some better health cover or something?
It's been a long search. Yeah, so landed with Tata Health. Not intentionally looking to get into the health sector or find the health cover. But as I started working, I realized that's one of the areas that is causing real impact, right? Ability to help people get through their illnesses, get cured is important. And as tech, what we can do to help in that journey was very rewarding. And when we were doing that, the pandemic hit, telemedicine suddenly became the thing to do, right? Until then, it was almost like not legal to do telemedicine. And then we switched over and everybody started doing that. So that was amazing. One of the things I realized is as people fall sick and we start to cure them, it's important to focus on wellness, right? So that people don't fall sick. So the Tata Health to HealthifyMe journey kind of is a continuation of that. So very happy to do that with tech.
Thanks Abhijit for that. So I think one of your team members also joined us in Delhi to do a similar session. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for joining us here as well.
Yeah, it was easy for him. Tarun was there in Delhi.
Yes.
He just had to fly out of Bangalore and reach there. I took the Uber ferry and then my car. And, yeah, so.
Yeah, I see your shoes are still wet for that.
Yeah, sorry for spoiling the stage.
That's okay, we'll get clean. Okay, great. So I think it's good that you have found kind of a special interest in the digital health space, at least. So when I join a company, I mainly look for, how socially responsible a company is, or how involved they are in charity and stuff.
Yeah, charitable to you.
Little bit of that. Okay, great. So let's get started. So as I was introducing, I think HealthifyMe definitely has touched 1 billion lives when it comes to the nutrition and fitness goals. Could you talk us through what your role is right now and how technology is used in this business?
Yeah, so if you look at what we are trying to solve for, as of right now, the world has more obese people than underweight people. Right? That's kind of where we are. So it's important that we help people get fitter, live lives better. And that's the vision of HealthifyMe, right? We are here to healthify 1 billion lives. And that kind of scale is not going to happen unless we use tech as its core. And tech at its core cannot run and scale unless we are able to use something like Relic, which allows us to observe how the platform is running and how we are scaling without compromising on performance and cost both.
Got it. Thanks for not looking at me when you said the word, obese. Anyway, So as you know, all industries and businesses were impacted due to the pandemic, right? But the health space, particularly in the app space, with people prioritizing their health, we saw a surge, right, in demand. How did HealthifyMe successfully address those?
Yeah, the pandemic was a game changer, right? For a lot of industries. While it kind of impacted adversely, for wellness medicine, it actually was a boom, right? So we started seeing traffic spike up significantly as the pandemic kind of settled in. As traffic started growing, we required something that could help us understand what these patterns are, where are we getting the traffic from, where are the choke points, where do we need to pay more attention, and we were using New Relic to do that, right? So as we were scaling our business, as we were getting more and more people onto our plans, we were using New Relic day in, day out to kind of stay in touch with what's happening really on the infra and fix the bottlenecks and keep supporting the growing number of users that we are seeing. About a year ago, when the whole vaccination drive started, we realized that a lot of people were not able to even find slots, right? So we had a very basic system that the government had launched. So we built something called Vaccinate Me that sat on top of it, and it allowed a lot of people to find vaccination slots, right? So about 8 million people who use that for search, about 50 million notifications for vaccination slots that we were able to share, and people were able to get those slots and get themselves vaccinated. So that was tremendous. And all of that scale with New Relic help was something amazing to see.
That's amazing. Just to reiterate, those numbers were 50 million, 8 million, and I think 3 million people got vaccinated through the app itself. Great. So HealthifyMe has been a customer for over 6 years with us. Thank you so much for that. But from a managerial perspective, could you talk us through how observability is helping you make data-driven decisions?
When I'm sitting in the leadership review meeting, while we talk about how we are scaling, how we are performing better, how we are able to support more and more number of customers, I do have the finance folks, the senior leadership, who is also worried about cost, right? So all of the scale, all of the performance needs to be achieved without just having to throw money at it. So that is where New Relic comes very handy. Right? So all the dashboards, all the visualization tools that are available within New Relic give a very good view to all the leadership teams about how the systems are scaling, how performance is happening, and then how we are able to keep costs down while we are able to achieve that. So I think that is a very useful thing for me specifically in the leadership conversations, to be able to give a visual story about how our infrastructure is doing using the New Relic graphs.
And as VP of technology, I'm sure you need faster access to metrics to report to the C levels, and just to ensure everything is running as it should. Could you talk us through how New Relic overall helps you in that?
We have two types of people, right? So we have a set of people who are constantly on New Relic, right? Those APM screens that we saw, the log screens that we saw. So people literally kind of watching it on the side on one of the screens, how the system is performing. On the other side, I have my leads and myself who are more looking at alerts, right? So we have the Slack integration in place. So anything goes off the chart, that is where I go to, right? So more than using the New Relic interface, I'm more on to the Slack channel where New Relic is reporting incidents. That is where I get to know that something is kind of not moving the way it is required. And that allows me to then kind of jump in, get to New Relic, dig deeper and see what's going on, where the issues are, and then have the right kind of attention from the team.
And what role does observability play in general in helping your team with innovation or fuel growth?
So the screenshot that you saw when the introduction was happening, if you can just go back to that screen, if that's possible, right? So that is our Pro product, right? So we launched something called Healthify Pro last week that connects with a lot of wearables, right? So we launched integration with a continuous glucose monitor. So that's a patch that somebody wears on their arm, and it sends glucose data every minute, right, to the system. Now, Before Pro, HealthifyMe is a system where users are entering their food logs, their exercise logs. So this is manual data entry. Right? There are 30 million people doing this 8 times in a day. It's still a lot of data. Now replace that input with variables, right? With your step counters, with your glucose monitors, the data scale grows significantly, exponentially, right? So that is what we are trying to do, which means the systems need to scale even further. There will be an explosion of logs. The debugging will become that much more harder because it's hard to get to the root of what's going on in this deluge of data. And that is where we are kind of hoping on using New Relic to stay on top of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would suggest you all to take a look at that. It's really good. Just search for Healthify Pro or HealthifyMe Pro.
It's Healthify Pro.
Okay, thank you. Great. Abhijit, ensuring a strong and consistent customer experience has really become hugely important, at least in the last couple of years. Could you share an example maybe of an initiative that HealthifyMe has come up with to build something amazing for the health space?
I'll talk about RIA, right? RIA was originally built as our smart assistant. So this was a bot where you can ask questions about your food, what you ate, or nutrition facts about is like paneer butter masala good for you, right? So that is kind of how we started. But our main business is on nutritionist and fitness consultations, right? So what do nutritionists do? They understand who you are, your demographic data, your eating habits, what you like, what you don't like, and create a diet plan for you. That is very custom for you. So for years and years, we have been doing that using human brain, right? The nutritionist is spending time and building these diet plans and sharing it with the customer. So we had RIA that is learning through these years about how these patterns are. And now we have launched smart plans where you don't really talk to a human at all. You just share your information and we are able to generate a diet plan that works exactly for your needs and to meet your goals. And that's something that we are able to build purely using tech. And to a great extent, we are able to save our nutritionists time and increase their efficiency by auto-generating these plans. They just need to review it, sign off, and then off it goes to the user.
Perfect. I understand with all this, New Relic has in some way or the other helped improve the customer experience at HealthifyMe, right? At least during the peaks session. Do you recall any event where the team looked to New Relic to address any mission critical issue?
We all party hard by November, December, Diwali, New Year. And we all think about losing weight January 1st, right? So there's an inside story from HealthifyMe, right? We don't sleep second half of December, right? Not because we are partying, right? But because we are just getting our systems.
We don't have to ask for a raise of hands. I think that's obvious.
Yeah. So January, the first 36 hours of every new year are the highest traffic times for us, right? So we are prepping the systems. We're using New Relic to watch what is going on and then scale our systems on those first 36 hours exactly based on how the traffic is moving using these dashboards to make sure that we are able to serve that traffic and kind of make our numbers for the year. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Just to wrap up, what's been the most important impact New Relic has had on the overall business?
If you think of, and I mentioned the leadership weekly, right, where all the business unit heads are sitting. So if you think of that dashboard as a driver's dashboard, for me, New Relic is the meter that I use to represent engineering, right? So that is kind of how important and how critical it is for me to look at this data. So it's just off the dashboards that I present the charts, and I'm able to give a good picture of what's happening in engineering, how we are using our infrastructure and how it's performing. That's the dial for me.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, Abhijit, for joining us. I wish we could give you a helicopter ride back home because of the flights, but we'll do it next time. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks, Aejaz.